Hello, students. I just wanted to go over briefly with you our writing assignment. If you go into your teams and then into assignments, you will find today's 9-9 and 9-10 even assignments. Complete your writing to the day. You'll notice that I have made this a form, might be a little bit easier for you. There's an Analyze, Craft, and Structure worksheet to prepare to write your in-class essay on mood and tone. And then there is an assignment sheet for the essay over mood and tone. Make sure that you listen to the audio. I just want to kind of walk you through this Nearpod that goes over the actual assignment sheet. Okay. So the first slide you're going to see is this graphic about tone versus mood. We talked a little bit about mood and tone over the past week or so you should start to be feeling a little bit more comfortable with it. Remember that tone is set by the author's attitude, stated or implied, toward a subject. The tone is mainly created by diction, which is word choice, and details. So if you look at our text, The Fall of the House of Usher, you'll notice there's a lot of diction and details that create a mood. I want to open with reading you just this first sentence from the story. This is on page 13. During the whole of a dull, dark, and soundless day in the autumn of the year, when the clouds hung oppressively low in the heavens, I had been passing alone on horseback through a singularly dreary tract of country, and at length found myself, as the shades of evening drew on, within the view of the melancholy house of Usher. So let's look at the tone, the words that have been chosen there. We hear dull, dark, and soundless. What kind of image does that evoke in your mind? Images of maybe it being really, really dark and cloudy with the clouds low in the sky, almost so low that you can touch it, and the whole world kind of has a hush around it. Have you ever been outside right before a thunderstorm and sometimes it just seems like nature isn't even there anymore? It's really quiet. That's kind of what our narrator is creating for us here. And then also we have the description of a singularly dreary tract of country. So we have these words that create a sense, a feeling. That's the mood. That is the emotions and feelings that you feel while you read. And so mood can be created by setting, imagery, and diction. So if you think about our setting, it's kind of like this first picture here of this kid that's in the woods, but you can kind of see where the clouds are low in the sky, and it feels really dark and moody out there. So our assignment that we're working on, and I have audio for you here so you can press this button to listen to it, but I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. So I'm going to pull up the assignment sheet for you. I'm asking you to write 3 developed paragraphs. So an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. It's going to be due this Friday on 9/11, and it's worth up to 50 points. So I'm asking you to choose between either this first prompt or 2 alternates. The first asks you to look at what the dominant mood is in the fall of the House of Usher and share how that mood is created and sustained throughout the entire story. The second is, how is the spooky mood in the story created by the house? And then I ask you to identify you could also identify a common mood or in the fall of the House of Usher and something else that's spooky. So maybe you really love a scary movie like The Nun or The Conjuring, and you want to use that as your examples of how it's similar to the fall of the House of Usher. There is a typo here where it says sources. You may use an outside source if you choose alternative 2. Keep in mind that I don't want for you to use all 3 of these. I just want for you to pick one, okay? So work your way through our Nearpod And as you go, I'll have some work for you because if you can use this space to type in your Nearpod. So, what are some phrases that he uses? And I'm going to pull into some examples here that I just pulled from the text. Dull, dark, and soundless day. And that is on page 13. Okay. Or a sense of insufferable. Okay. And that is on page 13. So both of those are possible things that I could use in my essay. Our objectives is I want you to be able to identify the mood and demonstrate how it's created for the story, and then use evidence from the text, like I just did, to support your answer. Okay. So we have this graphic right here, and I want for you to think of this as what are some ways that we have tone over here, and then we have mood on the other side. Okay. So you'll notice also our next slide asks you just to think about some possible claims. And so this is all brainstorming. Now, I want for you to kind of keep in mind that you might want to have a piece of paper with you while you're working on this assignment so that you can jot down your ideas in case you can't re-access your Nearpod. Edgar Allan. That might not work, right? The tone. So I'm talking about mood. So the mood that Edgar Allan creates through his word choices. The fall. I have quotations around my story title. Creates a spooky feeling in the reader. I might change that a little bit, but that's one possible claim that I could use. And then if I was going to use that claim, so looking back here, the mood that Edgar Allan Poe creates through his word choices and the fall of the House of Usher creates a spooky feeling in the reader, I would want to go to my book. I would want to look and see what ideas can I pull here in order to support that. What textual evidence? So I would want to quote things from the story, and I want to make sure that you write these ideas down on paper. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have questions or concerns, please reach out to me. Remember that this is due on September 11th. Thanks and have a great day.